Chancellor. I now ask the Public Orator Professor Elizabeth Walcott-Hackshaw to present Mr. Sieunarine Coosal, whom the Senate and the Council of the University have been pleased to recommend for the award of the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa.
Chancellor, true pioneers share essential characteristics that allow them to excel in ways where others fall short. They possess extraordinary gifts of imagination, passion, and courage. Many would also point to hard work, discipline, and tenacity. No doubt these should be included as well. Still, it is this passion that drives these visionaries to materialize ideas despite all of the challenges they may have encountered in their path. Chancellor, Sieunarine Coosal embodies such a spirit. As Executive Chairman of Coosal's group of companies, Coosal has had over 37 years of experience in the field of civil engineering, construction, and quarrying. We all know the Coosal brand. We have seen the signs on the country's roadways, and we are all aware of the technical and intellectual expertise that they bring to every project. These achievements have not gone unnoticed, both at home and abroad. In 2003, the Council of Awards in the United Kingdom awarded the Coosal Construction Company an International Best Practice Award. Coosal received the President's Award for Invaluable Contribution to the development of the quarry industry of Trinidad and Tobago in 2003 and 2005. He was inducted into the Business Hall of Fame by the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce in 2019. For their countless philanthropic contributions, the Coosal Company was awarded the Spirit of Humanity Award from Habitat for Humanity. Chancellor, there are so many more to speak of, but allow me to shine the light on the man himself. Sieunarine describes his childhood as happy and carefree. He grew up in a village called Todd's Road. He was one of 14 children raised by a widowed mother. In this agricultural community, he learned about planting cashew and cocoa. His family had a parlor where they would sell what they had grown. From an early age, he could appreciate the importance of family, hard work, and humility, values that would guide him for the rest of his life. After passing the Common Entrance exam for San Juan Government Secondary School, to be closer to his high school, he relocated from Central to Curep to live with his eldest brother, Ajoda, or Joe. Joe, both brother and mentor, had started the Coosal Quarrying and Transport Company. Young Sieunarine would work in Joe's company during his free time as the office boy. It got quarrying into his blood. His school vacation was spent doing office work for his brother and going back to Todd's village to help his mother. Coosal is well known for his generosity. Under his guidance, the Coosal Company has helped many communities and organizations around the country, including Bridge of Hope, Vita's House, the Salvation Army, Olive House, Habitat for Humanity, the Madras Government Primary School, and the Maracas Presbyterian School, and the Christmas treat for the senior citizens at Acono, Maracas. Again, this list falls short. There are many, many more to speak of. Now, these may be described as examples of corporate social responsibility, but for Sieunarine, they are personal acts of simply giving back. Chancellor, there is no correct answer to the age-old question of how we measure success. The common response is fame and fortune. But what about a life well lived? Sieunarine's life points to this. For all of his success, there is still the humility to keep learning from the past to be better moving forward. Chancellor, for his extraordinary entrepreneurial vision, his passion, courage, integrity, and generosity, I present Mr. Sieunarine Coosal and ask that by the authority vested in you by the Council and Senate of the University of the West Indies, you confer on him the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
By the authority vested in me by the Senate and Council of this university, I now confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa of the University of the West Indies. I now invite Dr. Sieunarine Coosal to address the company.
Chancellor Mr. Robert Bermudez, Vice Chancellor Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, Pro-Vice Chancellor and Campus Principal Professor Brian Copeland, University executives and other members of staff, fellow honorary graduates, and most importantly, you, the graduating class of 2021. A very special welcome to all of you. It is indeed an honor to have been chosen as one of the 14 recipients who have been selected for the award of honorary doctorate for the 2021 academic year and the over 450 honorary degree recipients conferred since 1965. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate all the other awardees. I do solemnly pledge here today to uphold and fulfill the expectations associated with the grant of such a prestigious award. It is also an honor to have been selected by the University of the West Indies as one of this year's honorary graduates to address you, the graduating class of 2021. But today, and indeed over the graduation exercises across campuses, it is not so much about Sieunarine Coosal and my other honorary doctorate colleagues. More importantly, it is about you, the graduating classes of 2021 across the various faculties, for it will be upon each and every one of you, Tom, Jane, Indrani, Sonilal, Chufong, Espinola, Lebla, that the future of Trinidad and Tobago, and indeed the wider Caribbean, hinges upon this fourth industrial revolution in which we now live. The age of automation, artificial intelligence, IoT, which is rapidly disrupting the status quo of every facet of our daily operations in real time. As such, what I want to do in the short time allotted to me is to start a conversation with you, the graduates, our future. It is my hope that this conversation will light the spark and set the fire glowing, and it is my sincere wish this conversation will not stop here, but will continue in every nook and cranny, every sector of our society, and you would use your creative, your innovative, your fertile minds to build upon this conversation. And out of these conversations will emerge the disruption which are urgently required to move us into the future. And that future is now, in confidence as a cohesive society. We can only have a strong Trinidad and Tobago and a Caribbean when all sectors of our society, the public sector, the private sector, the educational sector, the CBOs and NGOs come together with one common agenda. It is for you, graduates, to lead such an initiative and to ensure this happens. Just a few background statements to contextualize the conversation and to set the fire glowing. Education and skills training. Skills training is a very critical component. It is the foundation, the bricks and mortar of a developed society. So you have chosen the right path. Start to build the right foundation by pursuing a higher education degree. But you must not and cannot stop here with your BScs, your masters, and your PhDs. For education and skills training must be a lifelong journey from cradle to grave. In fact, it is now shown that the learning process starts in our mother's womb. Yes, education and skills training is like a continuous train journey with stations along the way. You need to continuously get on and off the train at different stages in your life. We are now living in a knowledge society driven by the knowledge economy, where the new natural resource is no longer silver, gold, oil, gas, as in the case of Trinidad and Tobago, but knowledge fueled by the powers of the human imagination. Yes, your imagination, your young fertile mind, your creativity, your innovation, your entrepreneurship to create wealth, for the benefit of all. From the hills of Laventille to the plains of Caroni, from Charlottesville to Icarcus, from Bahamas to Guyana and Suriname in the CARICOM context. In this context, the critical point to note here is knowledge, not vacuum knowledge, coupled with creative, innovative, and entrepreneurial mind. It is not the birthright of those in the developed nations. What this means, dear graduates, is that a small country as Trinidad and Tobago, or the region as the Caribbean, can become a sustainable global economic powerhouse. What this means, graduates, is in this new world order, the way we have been taught to classify countries as rich and poor, developed and developing, those with emerging economies need to be redefined, disrupted now and right here. We need to change our mindset if we are to move forward. We should now be classifying countries differently based on the knowledge economy as follows. Category 1, those countries which create new knowledge and use that knowledge, coupled with creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship to create wealth in a sustainable environment for the benefit of its people. Category 2, those countries which use knowledge, coupled with creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship to create wealth in a sustainable environment for the benefit of all, often referred to as disruptive innovation. Category 3, those countries that neither create new knowledge nor use knowledge to create wealth. The question I want to pose to all of you graduates: your minds are fertile. Our older folks' brains are becoming calcified, as Lloyd Best used to say, as we continue this conversation. Where is Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean currently in this new world order? What do we need to do collectively as a society? Public sector, private sector, educational sector, and civil society to move us to category 1 in this new world order. As we continue this conversation, you need to take note that we are now living in an interconnected global village brought about by the rapid advances along the superhighway of STI, science, technology, and innovation. You are global citizens, and as such, interconnectivity at all levels are now critical if we are to advance. Remember that our world is changing at such a rapid pace. The way we did business yesterday, in whatever sphere of our operations, literally is outdated today. And the way we do business, operate today, will become outdated tomorrow. Such are the rapid advances taking place in STI. We cannot afford and must not always play the catch-up game. Our policy creators and decision makers in government, as well as the private sector and civil society, will be constantly turning to the educational sector. Yes, your knowledge, your research, and your innovation and your skill set to ensure this country and the region and the world at large remain sustainable, economically and environmentally for generations to come. The powers of ideas. I urge you graduates, using your acquired knowledge and skills training, to open your minds in an interconnected way with other graduates from the other faculties across campuses, and indeed with other global citizens, to the power of ideas. 4. Diversity plus inclusion equals innovation. It is critical for you to note most of the major global challenges facing us today can only be solved using an interdisciplinary approach. For example, climate change, food security, health and wellness, to name a few. Also, most of the innovations taking place today are occurring at the fringes of the core disciplines in an interconnected way, and that is why interdisciplinary research groups are critical and is now the norm. That is why we are now hearing about disruptions in our curriculum, STEM, STEAM, and STREAM. Curricula at all levels of our educational ladder. Just a few quotes to illustrate the critical importance of the powers of ideas. Henry Ford once said, "The most dangerous notion a young man or any person can acquire is that there is no more room for originality." Or, according to Orville Wright, "If we worked on the assumption that what is accepted as true really is true, there would be little hope for advance. Or, according to Albert Einstein, creativity is intelligence having fun. In this context, I just want to refer to two examples of the powers of ideas, and I want you to digest and assimilate these two references. First, Steve Jobs, God bless his soul, co-founder of Apple, who allowed his senior computer scientists as a group to take time off from formal work once a week with pay and just let their minds, their brains wander freely. On one occasion, a small group who loves scuba diving went to scuba dive among the coral reefs, admiring in the process the beauty of the corals and the seaweeds being tossed back and forth by the waves. Yet they are not damaged. In that eureka moment, the idea came up. Why can't the engineers and scientists come up with flexible construction material that can bend back and forth without breaking, so buildings can withstand storm, hurricanes, earthquakes? Brothers and sisters, graduates, this simple idea generated whilst having fun and thinking out of the box eventually led to the development of nanofibers and nanosteel. Secondly, I want to refer to a carpet company in Canada who adopted the idea from Steve Jobs to allow his staff time off every week to converse in groups on any idea they have and how those ideas can be advanced thinking out of the box. It was autumn, so one group of senior design employees during official work time decided to take a walk in the park to admire the beauty of the varied colors of leaves falling from the trees onto the grass and naturally forming different patterns. Whilst walking and gazing, one of the guys pulled out his cell phone and clicked. This is the pattern of our next carpet. He shouted in excitement. They immediately went back to the drawing board in their office, and the result was the best-selling carpet the company had ever made. The power of ideas. Time is fleeting, and we have only just started a conversation, but such is reality. Time and tide wait for no man. In closing, I want to urge you graduates, our future, to ponder deeply on the following. The critical need for you to explore, discover, and inspire. Most importantly, you need to dream and to turn those dreams into realities. Being curious fuels our appetite to learn. Wanting to learn is far more important than being right. And I quote, "Without imagination, without profoundly new thinking and potent ideas, our practice has no purpose." It is through imagination and creativity comes uniqueness, and that innovative designs are a way of defying the ordinary and the mundane. Surely you will achieve great things in life, but always remember, humility is what will make you stand out from the others. Remember that, and I quote here, "Success is not measured by degrees earned, positions held, or titles received. Success is neither measured by how much money you make, nor is it measured by the standard of others. It is about making a difference and helping others achieve their dreams. Not everyone knows how to manage success. The higher the altitude, the cooler it becomes. Follow the same. The higher you go, the cooler your head must become." End of quote. Be the catalyst for socio-economic transformation that the population all yearn for. Call it inward hunger. The future must be your focus. Use the past to help manage the present and anticipate the future. For the future, your future, should not and must not be a linear extrapolation of your past. And finally, as I close, remember, you the graduates have the power to be the person you want to be, to make a positive difference in this world, and nothing, absolutely nothing, must come in your way of achieving your objectives. I want you to always see the person next to you as another person just as yourself, irrespective of their color, creed, ethnicity, financial status, with the same potential to make a difference to the quality of life for all. Finally, let us be constantly reminded of the words of the song Reach by Gloria Estefan, the theme song for the 1996 Olympic Games, hopefully to inspire. If I could reach higher. Yes, you can reach higher. Always reach for the impossible dream. Thank you.